Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Their Radio. My name is Tony Morales. We're here at Research Vintage in Downey. Thank you so much to Nick and the whole research team for having us here and hosting us here at Research Vintage. Today, we have a very special guest coming from Chicago, Eva Maria, DJ Eva Maria. Eva, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And then just for reference, we were in conversation and you know, sometimes it happens. We forget to press record. But I want to give a little background on where we left off on the conversation. So Eva was telling us about, you know, her story here and how it compares to LA. So we're talking a little bit about her background and her family. So Eva, you were telling us that you have familia from Mexico City and Puebla. And something I want to talk about a little bit more was what part of Puebla is your family from?
They're from Zaragoza, Puebla. I don't know if you're familiar with.
Yeah. That's like near the city, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not too far. It's like about a 3. Well, where my family's from, the little ranchito, it's kind of a drive, like 4 or 5 hours. You gotta throw 2 hours on top of that.
No, for real. Yeah. Puebla's pretty big. That's the thing too. Are you from Puebla, or were you born here in the U.S. in Chicago? Like where?
Yeah, I was born in Chicago, but my whole family's from there, and I was mentioning to you earlier, we don't really got family out here. I feel like a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know, most of them like migrate to the States and they kind of like all just settle here, but most of my family's back at home. It's just me, my mom, and I got one cousin left back in Chicago, and I have 2 cousins here in LA, and everyone's back in Puebla or Ciudad de Mexico, so I make an effort to go almost every year.
Yeah, you go. Have you been going every year since you were a child?
No, there was a big period where I didn't go. The first time I went was when I was 3. My mom went over there with me, and then she had to migrate back again. So that was kind of scary, going by myself on a plane, not knowing what's going on. Why isn't my mom with me? So that was a very unique experience for me, and something that I still remember to this day. And but yeah, ever since then my mom we've been in Chicago, and then after that, the first time that I went since then was when I was 23. So that's okay. 6 years ago. I'm how old am I? I'm 29 now, so it's been a few years. Yeah.
That's was I gonna ask you? You were mentioning that you're from Humboldt Park in Chicago, which you said was the northwest?
Yes.
Northwest part of Chicago. You were also mentioning how you have family here in LA, in Southern California. But for the most part, growing up in Chicago, it was you and your mom?
Yeah. So most of when my family first migrated to the Chicago, it was in the 90s, because one of my oldest tios, he started a business basically of he would build carts for people back in our pueblo to bring them back to the States, and my mom was one of the only women from our family that migrated to Chicago, and when she had me, she realized, she was I can't leave, because our life was there now. And so ever since then we've been there, but the rest of my family kind of just went back because they all had their families, So, yeah.
You said carts. Was it food carts?
Yeah, sorry. Food carts. They were street vendors, elotes, fruit. I grew up going to work with my mom, seeing all my tios fix up their carritos every day before school. So it was a very unique experience.
For sure. Did you grow up selling as well, on the weekends and stuff?
Yes.
How was that for you? Because I also grew up a street vendor, but I want to hear your story. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. I don't meet a lot of people that come from a similar background. But yeah, I would go with my mom in the summers. I used to love it, dude. Sometimes I run into people that know us because I moved from Humboldt Park. I live in the south side of Chicago now. But when I do go back and I run into people, they're oh, we remember when you were so little, you would sleep in the car. I would sleep in my mom's car when I get tired. And yeah, I mean, I grew up just, I don't know, just walking up and down the streets of like Humboldt Park and just, like experiencing like the culture there. And it was very different because, like I said, I mean, like we're Mexican, but growing up in it's a Puerto Rican neighborhood, Humboldt Park. So it was really nice, and I liked going to work with my mom. But once I got older, I was like, I want to do my own thing.
Once you hit those teenage years, I feel that. Well, for me, I want to ask you about this a little bit more, because for me, when I was growing up and I was a child, my parents would always be like, you gotta go and knock to each person's door, and I was like such a shy kid. Aww. And I was like super terrified of just talking to people. But kind of like that kind of taught me like you gotta step out of your comfort zone, because we gotta approach the world in a way.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, is that kind of, did anything from growing up doing that kind of like build up those skills to what you do now as a DJ?
I think yes. I'm pretty social.
Okay.
I think I'm a pretty social person, but I think that experiencing, like seeing my mom work and like going to work with her, dude, they were really long hours. I mean, I'm sure you can relate, like on our feet like 8 hours a day, and it just it came to a point where I was just like, man, like I should be making money too. So I started putting out like a little tip jar,
Oh, sick. Yeah.
But also I think it was through my mom. Like not only did I like learn like hard work and, just the power of just like being a good person and treating people really well. Because I feel like I met a lot of people through going to work with my mom, but also just seeing how my mom was like always bien amable with other people, and how other people would always like gift us things, and vice versa. Like there was always like little kids running around like, I want an elote. My mom would like split them in half for the little kids, even though like they had no money or whatever, but my mom was always very like giving, and I think for me that's something that I took with me and just learned how to just the karmic cycle,
Yeah, for sure. It like builds your values, right?
Yeah.
Your values and your morality. Sometimes it's not even about talking about it, because I remember like even growing up, like I don't think I ever had like these very long conversations with my parents, but sometimes seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Seeing it plays a huge role in that.
Absolutely.
And I was going to ask you about that too, because I saw one of your most recent events. Your mom was actually making food,
Yes.
right? And she was also y'all were selling food for a benefit, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that event?
Yeah. So we started doing, back in Chicago, I was just trying to figure out like different things I could do, but also just how to incorporate my mom. Cause my mom, she always makes tlayoyos. I don't know if you're familiar with tlayoyos. But
for those who don't know, could you explain to them?
Yeah, sorry. So tlayoyos are kind of I already know someone's gonna come at me for this, but they're like a little like gordita, but they're filled with like this green bean called alberjon. Or you could fill it with different things, but that's what we fill it with usually. And we top it with like salsa, cheese, and I grew up like eating those a lot. So I was trying to, like figure out how to get my mom like involved in some way or another. And they recently opened up a cafe in Chicago called Drip Collective. And my friend who was doing the booking at the time, like, it's a really good homie of mine and always looking out, and was trying to get me. And he's like, dude, you should do something here, like, like a daytime kind of thing. Like, what do you... like whatever you want to do, like we're totally up for it. He's like, if you want to bring in some vendors. And I was like, actually, yeah, like I could bring in my mom, just to get her like out the house and just get her like doing stuff. And I got my little brother involved too. So
nice.
It was really nice to see the response from people and how much they like the food. And it was just like a summer thing that we did. So we did it like 2 times, and the second time people were like, oh, when are the tlayoyos coming out? So it was a nice experience.
That's awesome. You were mentioning that the community you grew up in was mostly Puerto Rican, and you're Mexican. For us here in LA, it's mostly Mexican. But how was that experience for you growing up and being like part of like not the popular culture, not the mainstream kind of Latino culture for you in Chicago?
Yeah, I don't know if you're, I feel like Chicago's very, like a very segregated city. Like you'll hit one street and it's like, dude, like you'll see a completely different race.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like really cool to see like the different cultures in the different neighborhoods. But for me, I think it was very lonely for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think that they do like to put us like against each other, like Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. And it was really hard for me to grow up in that neighborhood, always feeling kind of like an outcast. Definitely. But I think that's something that I always like took with me was like music, like listening to the different music, like listening to like, you know, reggaeton or like hip hop. And, you know, I mean, like Spanish was my first language. So like when I would hear like music in English, I'm like, ooh, what's that? You know, like, and I had no point of reference because like all my cousins, my tios, like they don't listen to none of that, you know? Yeah. So it was really cool to like hear the different sounds in like the neighborhood, and I think that that's something that I really took with me, and definitely the food, because Puerto Rican food is bomb, yo.
Yeah,
like for
dude,
real.
I need to try it.
Yeah.
I need to try some. Yeah, I want to ask you, what are some songs that you feel remind you of your neighborhood?
Oh my God, I would definitely say like I have this one story of when I grew up, which was me and my mom were walking to the corner store, and I was little. And this is when 50 Cent, I forgot what that album is called, but the one with Candy Shop in it.
Okay, yeah.
But I had heard it like before, like just in the cars driving by, but I didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
But I just really liked the song, and I remember walking into like the corner store, and the girl was playing it, and I was like, I really like this song. And I told my mom, and I was like, me gusta mucho esta canción. And she's like, my mom's always been like, dude, my mom is such a like, we're gonna figure it out, dude, like whatever, like if you want something, like we're gonna figure it out, or I'm gonna figure it out for you. Like she's always been very like, you know, and she didn't know what the hell that song was saying, which is the funniest part, because I was like, I had no business listening to that song. And she like asked the girl at the register, she's like, you know the name of the song? And she's like, oh yeah, it's by so and so. And my mom's like, oh yeah. And so over there in Chicago, similar to you guys, we have like swaps, like swap meets or whatever, where they sell like bootlegs and shit like that. And she's like, oh, we'll get you a mixtape of it. And I was like, yeah. So that's like something that stays like with me. That story stays with me, because I'm like, oh, like that's really sweet that my mom like was, you know. And yeah, and sure enough, that like definitely, like I listen to a lot of hip hop, a lot of Southern rap.
Okay.
A lot of Southern rap. I used to listen to like a lot of Gucci.
Gucci's big, right? Gucci's big in the South and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's big here in LA. Gucci and like Boosie. Boosie's pretty big in LA too. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And something that I realized also about your DJ sets is that you mix a bunch of these genres. You mix hip hop, punk, cumbia, all of these genres. What is your approach when it comes to DJing and mixing?
So I think that, I guess that gets into kind of like how I came about like mixing like specifically cumbia, because now I just do cumbia. But when I first started, I was just figuring it out. Like when I first started DJing like 5 years ago, I was just figuring it out. I just knew that I loved music. You know, I knew that I loved hip hop. I like alternative rock. I love punk, you know.
Yeah. DJ Nick Nonstop. I think I heard you talk about that before.
Oh yeah. So the reason why I honestly I never thought that I would be doing what I'm doing. I just knew that I loved music, and at the time I was hanging out with like a lot of friends that were producing music, and they had like a really cool warehouse space where they would make music, and the guy that like owned the space, he would just let us hang out there, and I was like sick. Hanging out with like a lot of like other creatives doing like other things, and I was just so inspired. But I used to just love sitting and like watching them and listening to beats, and I was really into selection radio.
Oh yeah.
I was so into it. When I found it, I was just like dumbfounded that there was like you know, this other side of music, and like I just really loved like the deep cuts. Like I could listen to a beat like, you know, and repeat like Dilla, like all that. I was very inspired by it. And so my friend one day, he was like, well, do you want to start producing? Like, you're always here. And I was like, no. I did try, but I was like, I don't have the patience.
So you have beats out there?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have beats out there. I've tried, but it never became anything. But and nothing ever came of that. But he was like, well, you got to do something, bro. Like, you got to do something. You can't
just kick it here.
Yeah,
you got to do something.
You got to do something. And I was like, well, what should I do? And he's like, well, you're always making your little playlist. Like, just be a DJ. And I was like, damn, for real? And he's like, yeah. And I'm not the type that, like, can sit and watch, like, all these YouTube tutorials. Like, I have to.
I feel that. Yeah,
dude, I can't. Like, I have ADHD. I can't sit there and, like, just watch these videos. Yeah. But I just literally went on Google and I was like, DJ school. And I found two. One, I think they have it in New York. Oh, shoot. I forgot. It's like some DJ academy that's very well established. They used to have one in Chicago, but it was just so expensive. And I was like, dude, like, I can't afford that. But then I found this other DJ Nick Nonstop, where he was just doing like these classes, like these 3-week classes, and it was very affordable. And it was in the south side of Chicago. At the time, I was like way up north, going to school at community college. And I was like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get from one side of the city to the other side, but I'm going to figure it out. And I did. And it was very rewarding because, I bought my controller. I threw that shit on a credit card and I was like, I'm gonna pay it off eventually. We'll see, you know? But it was a very unique experience as well. 'Cause I was the only girl, the only woman, there, the only Latina there. It was mostly like, it was just like a predominantly Black space. But they like received me like family. They were very open to like my questions, and, they were dope. And Nick, like, he taught me a lot of stuff, and ever since then, like, I just took on from there.
That's sick. Did being in that space influence any of the music you play now? Or was it mostly like a technical learning kind of thing?
It was kind of like a technical learning kind of thing.
Okay.
No, actually, I feel like the music that I was playing was very different from what everyone else was playing.
Oh, okay.
So it was really interesting because a lot of people were like, "What are you listening to? Like, what is that?"
What were you playing? What were they playing?
I was playing like a lot of like R&B, like edits, like Selection-y
Selection, yeah.
Like that's what I was really into at the time. So I was playing like a lot of beats, a lot of things of that nature. And after that, COVID hit, so it was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. So then I was gonna ask you, but so then you do like listen to a lot of LA music, right? Because Selection is part of LA. Yeah. What are some of the LA music that you were bumping? I don't know.
What?
LA music. Yeah, LA music.
LA music that I was bumping.
Yeah. Or like when you're talking about Selection, were there any memorable tracks that you remember from that time?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite tracks is like a Dilla demo that I heard like on Selection Radio, which is like it's called Radio. It's literally only 30 seconds, but I'm like, that song, like I felt something.
That's sick. Yeah, I mean, Selection. And also I want to ask you also about Chicago music. Did you grow up listening to like Chicago? I mean, house is like one of the things that came out of Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Did you grow up listening to that?
I didn't grow up listening to house. It wasn't until I moved to the south side of Chicago that I started listening to house. But something that I did grow up listening to was a lot of footwork and juke, that I would hear like kids playing it, and I really, really loved like just the rhythms and like the way that people would dance. Like, dude, it was really cool growing up in Humboldt Park and seeing how kids like would gather and like, so I do, when I don't play cumbia, I play, I love playing like ghetto tech. I love playing like juke and things like that. 'Cause I'm like, this is like, this is my shit, like a lot of Detroit shit too,
You mentioned Radio by Dilla. I want to ask you, were there any other music albums, songs, or musical experience that you feel really shaped your taste in music?
Oh man, I don't even know if there's just one that I can like mention, but I definitely like was listening to like a lot of like, I don't know if you're familiar with Budgie.
Budgie.
He's
yes, I have heard, but I've only heard like one song by him. Or is it her? I don't know.
It's him. He's a
Okay.
producer. Yeah.
Okay.
He does a lot of like lovers rock. I was listening to a lot of that. Like I mean honestly, like the whole like Soulquarians, like that really inspired me. Like the boom bap. Like I was listening to a lot of that when I first started DJing. But honestly, yeah, like big shout out to Selection because they put me onto a lot of music. Actually one of their DJs, Sasha Marie. I love her. Like I love the music that she plays. Like she started her own radio show too. That's something that I'm like I still listen to a lot to this day because Selection, I don't really listen to them as much anymore. But Sasha, I'm like I really liked her alternative take on things and things like that.
Have you connected with her?
I haven't connected with her, but I've seen her play in Chicago quite a few times, and I've gotten to say like what's up to her, but never like
That's sick. Well, hopefully she sees this interview.
Yeah.
Going a little bit more on your DJ experience. Your tagline is La Gabachita Kumbiambera. Kumbiambera. Could you tell us how you came up with that? How did that come to be?
Yeah, so when I was first like dabbling with like even considering just going to all cumbia, when I would go to Puebla, my cousins, my like little like nieces and nephews, like they were fascinated by me. They were like, oh, we came to see like a vino del gabacho, and they're like, ella vino del gabacho. Like I was like, damn, I feel like like what?
Yeah.
So they would say stuff like that, like es que ella es gabacha, and I'm like, damn, like okay, and
that's how it is for sure.
Yeah, it is, dude.
No, and then sometimes, sorry, it's hard to cut you off, but like
okay.
when I went one time, like, damn, you speak Spanish pretty good. Where are you coming from? East Los Angeles? I'm like, yeah. How do you know? It's like that's the only place they talk like that.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But you would go there and they'd be like, they'd call you like gabacha.
Yeah, okay. Like gabacha, and then also it was my homie Tony that he kind of like unlocked the memory for me. He played this one song by this Las Chicas Cristal in one of his mixes, and that name Gabacha had always stuck with me. But he played this one song that they play a lot, like because when you go to Puebla, you turn on the radio, cumbia all day, like all day, and they would play a lot this song by Chicas Cristal, like every once in a while, de Yo Soy de Puebla. And when he played it, I was like, damn, I should look up the rest of this like album. And I looked it up, and it was like there was one song that was called like La Gabachita. And I was like, wait, that's so cute, And I really liked like the ring to it. I liked the name of it, and especially because like my cousins love to remind me that I'm American. And I was like, you know what? I might as well just embrace it.
That's real. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
When you said Tony, do you mean like Hello Tones?
Yes.
Okay, great. How did you and Tony first connect? What was that connection?
So again, like when I first started going back to Puebla, I like reconnecting and everything. I was just like very like, whoa, like I can't believe I waited this long to come back. But I also just felt very reconnected with like my roots and everything. And I had a friend like a few years ago, like 4 years ago, like, yo, like you listen to a lot of cumbia. Have you heard of like Tones, like Hello Tones over there in New York? And I was like, no, who's that? And he showed me, and I was like, wait, I think this dude is from Puebla, bro. Because something about Chicago, there's no Poblanos there. Like there are, but not a lot. Like, so that's another thing that I'm like, I've always felt kind of like, everyone's from Guerrero or Michoacan or everywhere but from Puebla. So I'm like, I never felt like I could really relate. But then when I was like really starting to get more into cumbia, I started listening to like Hello Tones' mixes, and I was like, I added him on Instagram, and I don't know, like, creo que le caí bien o no sé.
We gotta ask him.
We gotta ask him, but
Yeah.
but I think he just saw that I also like a little poblanita, so yeah, like he Hello Tones is also really big into hip hop and stuff. So he would see that I would post a lot of like music, and we just started chopping it up like that. But when I met Hello Tones for the first time was like 2 years ago. He opened up for Show Me the Body, and
I do remember that.
yeah, and I was like, I love Show Me the Body. And then the fact that he was opening up with Kumbia, I was like, yo, I've been wanting to check out one of his sets, and I was just like, this is so crazy, but what if I just go for like 24 or 48 hours? And I pulled up on him, and on it, like, dude, he received me with like a lot of love. Like, I met his homies, like they were all really cool people, and basically we've been homies ever since. And he's always shown a lot of love to me, and obviously vice versa. I love what he does as well. A lot of respect to him, man, because what they're doing out in New York, it's a whole movement, and it's really dope to see him in Chihuahua. So that's kind of how like I became friends with him. And
and then you brought him to Chicago.
Yes.
To Chicago for New Year's Day, New Year's Eve as well, from 2024 going to 2025, and I want to talk about that, which is your Noche de Kumbia, right? Your Noche de Kumbia event. What led you to creating that? The Noche de Kumbia. Yeah, as a whole.
So I had always like been wanting to do like my own night, and at the time, which is like now like a year and a half ago, I was talking to my friend Jacob about it, which is also the guy that I was telling you about, that does the booking for Drip Collective. He was like, dude, like you need to do like a Kumbia night. He's like, just do it, because I was just kind of scared, I was like, I don't know how people are going to receive it. Like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
And he told me to go for it. And at the time he has friends that like in the south side of Chicago, this one venue called Punch House. Okay. And they're connected to this bigger venue called Talia Hall, which is where we did the New Year's Eve event. And he was like, oh, well, let me put you on with so-and-so and yada, yada. They need new programming anyways. And and then we met, and they were like, yeah, we'll give you a shot. We'll give you a Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, I'm just going to call it Noche de Kumbia, because that's what it is. Like, it's just Noche de Kumbia.
And on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and on a Wednesday.
That's interesting. That's the middle of the week. Yeah, I would think not many people show up, but I've seen people from what you post, people showed up.
Yeah. No, it was really bizarre. Like, it was very like it was just like very shocking to me to see the response. The first night we had like a really good amount of people show up. I was very happy with the first night. I was like, man, this is dope. Like, for a Wednesday, this is not bad. And a lot of people at Punch, the bartenders were like, yo, like people are dancing. No one has ever danced here.
What?
Yeah, they were like, they don't dance here, bro. And I was like, damn, like that's cool, man. So it just felt right, so yeah, that's kind of how it came about. And then I was like, I want to make sure that like people know that it's Kumbia with a K, not with a C.
Why is that important to you?
That's important to me because I think that there's a lot of different styles of Kumbia. You got psychedelic Kumbia, you got Kumbia from Colombia, you got Kumbia, and for me, I mean, the reason why I started doing Kumbia, just doing Kumbia, is because I started hearing like all these crazy edits and the stuff that the people over at Kumbia Net were doing, and Turbo, and I was like, yo, I could do this, because like I was telling you, I really love hip hop. I really love like Southern rap, and just to hear like all those elements of the music that I love, with Kumbia, which is something that I'm like, wow, this is like, it just feels like it's in my blood. That's why I was like, it was important for me. I was like, I need to make sure like I can differentiate it in some way,
Yeah. I want to ask you about that. Do you feel like there is a cumbia from Chicago? Like, is there a sound to the cumbia from Chicago, or is it still building? Like, what's your perspective on that? Or have you thought about that? I don't know.
That's a really interesting question. There is like a lot of, I feel like the cumbia that I've seen before like this whole big cumbia renaissance, because now left and right there's cumbia everything, dude. You know, and I mean, I am happy that I feel like people of like Gen Z is like reconnecting, you know, like with their roots and everything, and it's really dope to see like the response and different age groups coming through. But I don't know if there's like a specific sound to cumbia from Chicago. There is like sonidos out there, but they're more like on the outskirts of Chicago.
Yeah.
But there is also like some dope, like my homies over at Mictlan. I'm probably mispronouncing that. My homie Flores Negra, she does this night called Cumbia y los Gots.
Oh, okay.
And she usually does like techno. She's
sick.
she's very known out there in Chicago for doing like techno and like just different genres. But she like started this night Cumbia Los Gots, and I think that's another big party in Chicago that like like they've kind of paved the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing about too, like you were saying, cumbia is going in like a new renaissance, where like a new, like now the younger audiences are like touching upon it and building upon it. But what's cool that you're doing is that you're building a space for that, you know, where like a lot of the younger folks are able to, or not even younger, it could be at any age, right? They're able to come to a new space who's introducing cumbia in a different way. And that's what I saw that you were doing in Chicago. And, and that's why I think what you're doing is amazing.
Yeah, no, thank you.
A few more questions. I do want to ask you, you also did this, I want to ask you about this specifically, but you did this event with Red Bull where you were doing the verses with, what was it, like Danny Lux versus Tornillo? How was that event for you? How was it? How was that experience?
That was like also like a big like whoa, like that was crazy for me, because I don't know if you saw where it was hosted, which is this Aragon Theater, Aragon Ballroom.
No, but could you tell us about that space?
Yeah, it's a very historical venue. I used to hear about it a lot through my tios and my mom. Because they used to watch, they used to go see like a lot of like grupos, like Los Temerarios, Industria del Amor, like just a lot of grupos. They used to, and they're like, yeah, we used to go dance, dude. Like back then people used to not watch the concert, they used to dance.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very like it was very like emotional for me to like get that offer, because I was like, yo, this is crazy. And also like Tornillos, like I love Tornillo, Danny Lux too, you know. So it was really cool, and I think it's also the first time that they've done like a show like that, because they usually do like a different artist, but I don't think they've ever done like two Mexican artists.
I don't think I've seen it before either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first time. So it was a very big like honor for me to do that, and it was really dope. The people over at Red Bull, a lot of homies from the music industry that I've met along the way, like they work for Red Bull, so it was really nice to do that and to get the offer from them, and they treated me like family. And the fact that I was able to play music with with my mom, like on the balcony.
She was there?
Yeah, I brought her. I was like, dude, you have to come. She's like, yeah. She's like, I'm gonna come. So it was crazy.
Did she tell you anything afterward, after she saw you DJ? Any words afterwards, or what?
My mom is kind of like one of those Mexicans that like never really is like, yeah, we're so proud of you. Like she's just kind of like,
she's Mexican.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's real.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. That's awesome to hear that that she was there. I want to ask you about your set on Friday. Did you premiere any new remixes on your set on Friday here at Los Angeles, or no?
I don't think I premiered any like new remixes.
Okay.
I'm like, why, did you hear something?
I don't know. I heard the cumbia.
I didn't even know you were there.
I was there, but I'm glad you didn't see me there, because
it's all good.
I think I heard you play Cumbia de la Pendejita.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I thought I heard like Cumbia del Pendejo, and I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's El Pendejo.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Okay,
sick.
Yeah. whose mix is that, or like what song is that?
It is called El Pendejo.
Yeah. Because I was sorry to interrupt you. I was talking with Space Primo. Space Primo was like, "Oh, that's sick. You know, they call it Cumbia de la Pendejita, but but the one that she's playing is Cumbia del Pendejo." And I was like, "That's hard." Like,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Damn. Shout out Space Primo. Yeah. Dude. I was actually, I don't remember the name of the artist. Luego te la paso.
Okay, sick.
But yeah, that song is sick. I don't even know how I found that song. Sometimes it'd be YouTube. I think I found that one on YouTube, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I found that one. There's a lot of like tracks that are on YouTube that you can't
find
on Spotify, which is dope.
That's real.
Yeah.
Eva Maria, thank you so much for coming to the radio. So happy to have you here. What can people expect when they go see your shows in Chicago? If they go to Noche de Kumbia, or if they go any other set that you're DJing?
Yeah.
What do you try to bring to the floor?
I mean, I just try to, bring energy. I want everyone to dance. I'm hoping for you guys to just be open-minded and. Yeah.
Dance.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, for sure. This is another episode of the radio here from LA, and hopefully we reach Chicago. Cool. Peace.